What is up, New Beginnings Church? Happy Wednesday morning to you, and welcome to our devotional series. We are in that series called The Red Letters, and today some really, really good words out of Matthew chapter 14. Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid. Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid. I love it. And then again, when you circle into the story now, you see, I've read the Bible through so many times that I know what the story is kind of before, so when I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's this one. This is the story. The disciples are in the boat. If you remember Monday and Tuesday, we read the story about how Jesus fed the multitudes. Well, when the story's done, he's like, hey, y'all go over to the other side. I'll catch up later. So they get in a boat and they start to row. And in the middle of the night, they're struggling at rowing, but they turn and look and see somebody walking on the water. And they think it's a ghost. They start freaking out, which you and I would totally freak out too if we saw somebody walking on water in the middle of the night. And so Jesus, in that context, says, take heart. It is I. Do not be afraid. And I think these words are so profound for us right here today, because I think there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of panic, and a lot of worry and concern out there. And I want you to know you can take heart. You don't have to be afraid, but I think only if you know the great I am. See that word, it is I? It's actually just the Greek words I am, which is a play on the name of God. The name of God in the Old Testament literally meant I am. Meaning, what is God? God is that which needs nothing else to exist. I want you to think about that. Think everything in the universe needs something else to exist. So what's the only thing that exists that doesn't need something else for its own existence? God. He is the self-existent one, right? And so I am existence. And so anyway, that's just a wonderful way of thinking about the greatness of God. And I think that's when you recognize, man, when I know the great I am, I can take heart. I don't need to be afraid. As a matter of fact, Jesus plays on this. The entire book of John, when John writes his letter, he doesn't write like Matthew. Matthew tries to keep some level of like consistent flow to he went from here to here and this happened and this took place and whatever. John's like, hey man, I'm just going to throw out my favorite thoughts and ideas, and he hangs them on 7 statements that all begin with the phrase, I am. So those famous lines like, I am the light of the world. I am the bread of life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. All those I am statements. That's how John writes out and frames out his book, his gospel story. And so anyway, I want you to know Jesus is saying, don't be afraid. Take heart. I am. And I want you to know that as long as you are with Jesus, you are with the existent one. I mean, like you don't have to worry about anything because your life is in his hands. Your time is in his hands. Your destiny and your future, they're all in his hands. And when we pull back, we realize, you know what? I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Sometimes I'm going to want to panic and freak out, but I don't have to if I'll remember that my life is in the hands of the great I am. Can I get an amen to that? Church, I love you. God bless you. Go out there and be confident today that your life is in his hands. God bless you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.